Hi everybody, and welcome to Josiah is Right. As a kid, I was always fascinated by Iron Man, not because I loved the character, although I did love that suit, but because of his drinking problem. I saw that flaw and how it humanized him and made him very much a real person. Even if I couldn't relate to his character, I could relate to his flaw. However, as a kid, I had no real interest in that. I did, however, want to see an epic battle with the ultimate match for Iron Man, Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom always seemed the perfect villain for Iron Man, at least to me. However, there's one villain who's probably even more perfect, and his name has Iron in the title, so that tells you it's a more perfect villain. Iron Monger! Now, as a kid, I never read this. So as a full-grown man with a drinking problem of my own, I present to you the Iron Man Iron Monger collection. This volume covers issues 193 through 200 of Iron Man.
Spoilers ahead.
Immediately we were faced with a problem. We're between two Iron Men. The story starts with Rhodey as Iron Man, as Tony gave up his superheroing to get sober. It starts with a third-rate West Coast Avengers avenging on the West Coast. Tony dons the old armor and helps Hawkeye, Mockingbird, and Tigress, a C-list of a B-list superhero team. Yes, sorry Jeremy Renner, but it's true. And I like the character, but it's true. They fight a dinosaur, which I assume is a robot operated by the mastermind here. The fight with a giant robotic dinosaur starts the itch. The itch for metal underpants! Or he just wants to be a superhero. Anyway, some random thug walks into I'm Not Ant-Man Anymore, Hank Pym's lab. Rhodey ends up in an alternate dimension where he comes out questioning who Iron Man really is. Rhodey is struggling with his identity as a superhero, which is a really cool concept and perhaps the best part of this collection. In issue 195, he visits with the aptly named Shaman. Rhodey's a hero and he knows he is, but he's not Iron Man. Who is he? Well, it'll be a few years before he figures that out, but for sure, he is not Iron Man. That mantle belongs to somebody else. The visit with the shaman gives us the only genuinely funny moments in this book. In some dreamscape, he strips naked, realizing Tony is Iron Man. Obadiah Stane, a man with a first name after my own heart, finally shows up. Up to this point, we really haven't had our true villain, and for the most part, he's sort of the puppet master type, which is fine, but less so when the story is called Ironmonger. In issue 196, with Iron Man suits that apparently have just been left around lying everywhere, in dreamscapes and alternate dimensions, coming back remotely doing evil, Tony dons the worst disguise ever. Maybe consider a mask or a shave, Tony? Issue 197 is a Secret Wars tie-in, so really, you can skip it. 198 firmly plants Stane as the villain with the unnecessary origin of Obadiah Stane. His gambling dad kills himself. But Stane isn't any more sympathetic. Somehow he comes off as extra evil and sadly kind of generic. This isn't the wonderful Jeff Bridges portrayal of Stane, a villain of creepy likability. He's more of a Lex Luthor knockoff. He's bald, smart, and always has a plan behind every plan. Stane unleashes a big flying tank sort of thing. He kills Madame Mask, to whom he's been telling his origin story. Why? I'm not sure. But he's brainwashed Bethany Cabe, Iron Man's girlfriend, to be his girlfriend. Issue 199 features a gorgeous Bob Layton cover. It's the best thing about this issue. Pick the least memorable, probably least likable character, other than the bad guy in these books, and he's the one who dies. So it doesn't have as much impact as it should. But somebody died. Him. See? Nobody cares. This is the final straw for Tony. The back of the camel of not being Iron Man has broken. Rhodey is conveniently injured, so we finally get Tony in those metal underwear as he gears up in new armor to battle Stane's bulky bluish-purple Ironmonger. Tony frees all his cryo-frozen buddies. Stane thinks he's won, but Tony really has. Overall, this volume is a bit of a letdown. It builds tension to the point of revealing Tony's new Iron Man armor, but it's just kind of bland and boring. The moment of Iron Man gearing up is great, but the battle doesn't live up, so it feels anticlimactic. I weirdly find I love this story, but I don't. I think I love the idea of this story more than the actual story execution itself. Tony and Rhodey with different conflicting ideas about being Iron Man is brilliant. However, Stane is just a puppet master. I want Ironmonger. It also feels stretched out and kind of boring at times. Denny O'Neil is an all-time great, but he worked with like 50 billion artists on this thing, and that's part of the problem. They maybe didn't have a unified creative vision that it needed to execute the story that I'm sure he had in his mind. It's still worth reading if you're a true Iron Man fan. However, if you're like me and Iron Man isn't your favorite character, I would say pass. And just spend your time reading something with Spider-Man or someone you like. I use Spider-Man as my example because he's number one for me. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And I will see you next time. Bye.